Good evening. I hereby call to order the Board of Directors meeting of the New Jersey Transit Corporation, New Jersey Transit Rail Operation, Inc., New Jersey Transit Bus Operation, Inc., New Jersey Transit Mercer, Inc., and New Jersey Transit Morris, Inc.
Good evening. Please mute your phones and turn your attention to the public safety announcement.
In the event of an emergency at NJ Transit, your safety is our top priority. Please pay attention to the following safety instructions. In case of an emergency, announcements will be made over the loudspeaker or by a uniformed police officer. The main exit for this location is the stairwell, located in the lobby next to the elevators. There is a second staircase through the door behind the dais on the right, under the exit sign. If necessary, NJ Transit Police will call 911, administer CPR, and use the defibrillator located near the elevator. Fire extinguishers are located in the front and back of this room. Please do not approach the dais. Documents can be presented to staff at the entrance of the boardroom. Please follow the directions of the NJ Transit Police and staff. Thank you, and have a safe day.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now take roll call. Board Member Abrantes? Here. Board Member Brown? Here. Board Member Medina? Board Member Medina? I see him. Can the board members remotely hear us? Okay. Board Member Nara?
Here.
Board Member Thomas?
Here.
Board Member Weiss? It's low? Okay. We need help with the audio feeding from the Teams meeting. Board Member Caniff?
Here.
Board Member Cruz?
Here.
Vice Chair Carson?
Here.
Chair O'Connor?
Here.
For the record, Board Members Medina and Weiss are participating remotely. Board Member Morocco is absent. This is a meeting of the New Jersey Transit Corporation and its affiliates and subsidiaries. Adequate notice has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and NJ Transit's enabling legislation. Notice was filed on July 18, 2024 with the Secretary of State and sent to newspapers of general distribution, posted in the main entrance of NJ Transit's headquarters, published on the corporation's website, and sent to each individual agency and organization that requested such notice.
May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 11, 2024 board meeting?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Board Member Abrantes? Yes. Board Member Medina?
We can hear yes, Megan,
You heard
but
yes
it's
in
just
the
low.
back. Okay. Board Member Nara? Board Member Weiss? I saw him say thanks. Board Member Caniff?
Yes.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
President and CEO Corbett will present the President's and CEO's monthly report.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair and members of the board, and good evening to all the members of the public joining us in person or online tonight. I'd like to begin this evening by addressing some of the recent impacts to rail service, which clearly has not met our, much less our customers' expectations. I want to first apologize to our customers, as I recognize how important the reliability is to the overall quality of our customers' daily lives. Aside from last week's heat-related rail equipment issues that required a temporary minor adjustment to rail schedules, and the incident on Thursday, July 11th, affecting the North Jersey coastline when the 116-year-old Raritan River Bridge could not be fully closed. The incidents largely impacting NJ Transit rail customers have occurred on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor or on our rail services that depend on part on the Northeast Corridor. Want to be clear that all of us at NJ Transit are just as frustrated as our customers in regard to the impact of these service disruptions along the Northeast Corridor. Even if it is only just one delayed train out of the 700 daily weekday trains we operate, we realize that it's 100% delayed for you if that's your train. Understanding the gravity of the situation, on June 27th, Governor Murphy called an urgent meeting bringing together key decision makers, including Amtrak Chairman Tony Kosha, Amtrak CEO Stephen Gardner, myself, and senior staff from both NJ Transit and Amtrak. We discussed the impact of the recent events had on both Amtrak and NJ Transit customers and reinforced our commitment to continue to work jointly by taking concrete actions to identify the root causes of these incidents as quickly as possible and to restore reliability for all our customers. This was foundation for an enhanced holistic effort focused on both Amtrak infrastructure, including the electric traction system that powers trains, the catenary, the system overhead power wires that are part of the electric traction system, the signals and switches, and NJ Transit's equipment, including the pantograph system that connects to the catenary and draws power down to the trains. This effort included the development of a joint plan, which includes, but not limited to, the following short-term actions. Amtrak has begun and is continuing accelerating additional extensive and frequent catenary and track inspections and repairs on approximately 170 track miles between Trenton and New York City. NJ Transit, with Amtrak assistance, is also undertaking visual inspection of all trains at key stations, and NJ Transit has installed high-resolution cameras to inspect pantographs on trains which connect to the catenary. Review by external industry experts to assist root cause analysis and development of solutions is also in the works, and a joint review of Amtrak and NJ Transit delays and items impacting such reliability, which will result in a prioritized set of investments on both the operating side as well as the capital side to address the sources of delays. Additional longer-term actions to address the state of good repair of the Amtrak infrastructure include adding resources to expedite testing of transformers and substations, pursuing additional grants to support the replacement of catenary, substations, and transmissions and signal lines, as well as support overall capital renewal, and evaluating methods to expand work windows with service adjustments to accelerate repairs and upgrades. Beyond these actions, major projects such as the new Portal North Bridge, which will be coming online in about a year and a half, along with the Sawtooth Bridge replacement and the Hudson Tunnel project, which I'll discuss more in a minute, will certainly address many of these issues. Our collaborative efforts with Amtrak to improve reliability on the Northeast Corridor are part of a broader initiative to enhance service quality, including our enhanced summer services. Toward that end, NJ Transit is offering enhanced rail and bus service heading down to the shore, including additional weekend shuttle trains between Long Branch and Bayhead, and express bus service from Philadelphia to Wildwood and Cape May. More information on these and other deals and discounts can be found at njtransit.com/summer. Speaking of summer, since our last board meeting, NJ Transit has provided seamless service to 5 major events at MetLife Stadium, some with more than 80,000 fans attending, as part of the stadium's summer event series. These included, most notably, 3 Copa America soccer matches and 2 Luke Combs concerts last weekend. In addition, following the semifinal match on Tuesday, July 9th, between Argentina and Canada, we moved nearly 17,000 people out of the stadium in approximately an hour, just under 12,000 on rail and the rest by bus. Before I move on to share some highlights from tonight's board agenda, I'd like to provide an update to our refund policy for one-way round trip and, rail 10-trip tickets purchased prior to June 1st, 2024. As you're all aware, beginning this year on August 1st and continuing through December 31st, customers can request a refund on any unused one-way round trip or rail 10-trip tickets purchased before June 1st, 2024. This evening, I'm pleased to note that we've made the ticket return process more convenient for our customers by expanding the return options from the 6 customer service offices at our major terminals to now include any station, bus, or rail with a staff ticketed window. As a reminder, detailed information on the refund process is available at njtransit.com/refunds. We have a busy agenda this evening with some of the items up for board consideration that I'd like to at least briefly highlight. As a result of the state's fiscal year 2025 Appropriations Act, later this evening, the board will consider approval of NJ Transit's fiscal year 2025 operating budget. The FY25 operating budget will enable NJ Transit to maintain current overall service levels for for FY25, as promised in my budget testimony before the state legislature earlier this year. And thanks to Governor Murphy and the state legislature, the corporate transit fee provides an additional dedicated funding source that not only allows us to avert the projected fiscal cliff in FY26, but will provide stability and predictability for our operating budget for some years to come. Jackie Stanford, our acting SVP, CFO, and Treasurer, will be giving a more detailed presentations on the FY25 operating budget later in this meeting. Appropriately, I'm pleased to note that our board will also be voting later to appoint Jackie to serve as our permanent CFO and Treasurer. She has been acting in the role since last spring and has done a yeoman's job of guiding NJ Transit through the fiscal challenges we've been navigating this last year under her leadership. Following approval of our operating budget, we will share an update to our fiscal year 21 through fiscal year 25 five-year capital plan. Capital plan update promises to build on the significant capital progress we've made since 2018 by ensuring the foundation for improved reliability, on-time performance, customer comfort, and the overall customer experience. As part of these budget approvals, we will also seek board approval for our local program budget, which will help sustain existing local transportation in New Jersey's more rural areas, most often used by seniors, people with disabilities, and the economically disadvantaged. NJ Transit distributes these grant funds to existing rural transit providers throughout New Jersey to be used for operating, planning, capital, and administrative expenses. We will also be seeking tonight the board approval for the purchase of an additional 36 new multi-level 3 rail cars. These new cars will be in addition to the 113 new multi-level rail cars purchased in December 2018 to replace our 45-year-old plus Arrows, and the 25 new multi-level rail cars purchased in February 24, for a total of 174 new multi-level 3 rail cars purchased over the last 6 years. Regarding the 113 multi-level 3 rail cars purchased in 2018, Alstom has started dynamic testing at their final assembly site, and the first 2 cars are expected to be delivered to NJ Transit this year in December to begin testing before they go into revenue service early to middle next year. The board will also consider approving a contract to begin the design of our new Union City bus garage. The new garage will provide modern facilities and increased capacity to accommodate our growing fleet and support our commitment to delivering reliable and efficient bus service to our customers. Additionally, the new facility is being designed to accommodate zero-emission buses aligned with our long-term sustainability goals and commitment to reducing our carbon footprint. And along the lines of our commitment to sustainability is through our zero-emission bus program. Earlier this month, the Federal Transit Administration announced that it will award NJ Transit a $99.5 million grant that will go to modernizing our 31-year-old Meadowlands bus garage. That's in Secaucus, and it's being amended to be able to accommodate electric buses. The funds will support the design and construction of an outdoor charging facility with a canopy design and pantographs supplying electricity to the buses. Phase 1 of the construction will provide charging equipment for 67 buses. It will include the installation of infrastructure to expand the site to accommodate 130 buses in later phases. Our Meadowlands garage serves 32 bus routes in Hudson County, operating more than 6.5 million miles annually. This project is currently anticipated to be completed in 2028. Continuing with the infrastructure updates, on June 18th, I was pleased to join Congressman Rob Menendez, Federal Transit Administration Region 2 Administrator Mike Collada, Senator Joe Cryan, certainly our own NJDOT Commissioner and Chair, Fran O'Connor, and Elizabeth Mayor Chris Bolwage for the grand reopening of our new Elizabeth Station. This $74.5 million investment significantly improves the experience of thousands of customers who use this station every day, while serving as a centerpiece for revitalization and development in the greater Elizabeth area. This is also NJ Transit's first ever commuter rail design build station project on the Northeast Corridor, and I must say the station really looks incredible for anybody who gets down there or rides along the Northeast Corridor. While I'm on the subject of federal dollars, I'm sure you all know by now, you've heard the great news regarding the Hudson Tunnel project. On June 12th, the FTA approved the largest federal transit grant in history to finance the Hudson Tunnel project between New Jersey and New York. On July 8th, I joined Governor Murphy and Governor Hochul, Senator Booker, U.S. DOT Deputy Secretary Polly Trottenberg, our chair, and NJT Commissioner Fran O'Connor, and numerous other federal, state, and local officials for the signing of the $6.8 billion full funding grant agreement, also known as an FFGA. This FFGA between the FTA and the Gateway Development Commission is truly a historic occasion for New Jersey, as well as New York and our entire region. It is advancing the most critical infrastructure project in the entire country and is certainly critical for NJ Transit's future. In conjunction with Portal Bridge, the Hudson Tunnel project will enable NJ Transit to significantly enhance reliability and capacity between New York and New Jersey. And before I close, we are proud that NJ Transit is an organization with thousands of exceptional, hardworking employees who go above and beyond the call of duty every day, and yet whose actions often go unnoticed. We are fortunate this evening to recognize one such employee in our midst, Assistant Conductor Marshall Jackson, who exemplifies the exceptional courage and quick thinking during an incident on a train he was staffing in May. Marshall, will you please join me in the front of the boardroom? And as we do, I will just point out that on May 28th, Mr. Jackson was busy assisting customers disembarking from a train at Newark Penn Station when he noticed a commotion and heard a conductor shouting that a man had fallen onto the tracks. Without hesitation, Marshall notified the dispatcher of the emergency, jumped onto the tracks to assist the fallen commuter. Upon reaching the man, Mr. Jackson found that he was not breathing and immediately began chest compressions and was continuing life-saving efforts for several minutes, and using his flashlight to stimulate a response, Marshall managed to get the commuter to regain consciousness and start breathing again. As Mr. Jackson continued to provide care, NJ Transit police officers arrived and took over the situation, and the commuter was subsequently transported to the hospital for further evaluation. Marshall, can't thank you enough. We have a citation for you. And my last comment, Chair, before concluding, is that I would point out that on July 17th, NJ Transit celebrated its 45th anniversary, marking nearly a half a century of dedicated service to New Jersey residents. It was, as you'll recall, we were established from the ashes of bankrupt private bus and rail companies. NJ Transit was officially created by the Public Transportation Act of 1979 to oversee most commuter bus and rail service in New Jersey. The Northeast Rail Service Act of 1981 subsequently laid the foundation for NJ Transit's takeover of Conrail's commuter rail service on January 1st, 1983. And although we've certainly had our shares up and down over the course of 45 years, as we commemorate this milestone, we reaffirm our commitment to deliver the most efficient and reliable service possible for our customers. And I'd say this anniversary is also an opportunity to recognize the hard work and dedication of our employees, who are and always have been instrumental in our success. And with that, Chair, I can conclude my remarks and turn it back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. Suzanne Mack will present the advisory committee report.
Yes, hi. I've been taken off mute. Hello? I've been taken off mute.
Yes, we can hear you, Suzanne.
Hello? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank Chairman O'Connor and also the board members. I had intended to be there. I had a transportation disruption, like many people have had recently, and I apologize because this is the meeting that's so important to all of us when you adopt the budget and adopt many of the things on the agenda tonight, including the senior citizen disabled residents budget. So this is one that our committees, the North and South Jersey Passenger Advisory Committees, look forward to, and I apologize that I can't be there in person tonight. But I do want to follow up on Chairman not only Chairman but Kevin Corbett's report. As usual, he has covered many of the items that we were concerned about. However, during the June meeting, we did have a very extensive report on marketing from Vaughn Williams, the Chief Marketing Officer and VP of Communications and Customer Experience. They do so much work in order to try to bring passengers to New Jersey Transit through their marketing program. We have to applaud them, or our committees do. But I did want to say that, and Kevin went through many of the things that we of course, we went through the budget. We're very excited about finally getting the Elizabeth Station done. We're very excited about the future with the soccer next year and the planning that's going into that, and also the FDA's generous award of $95 million for the Meadowlands bus station. But I did want to say that my main thought tonight with my committee members was on the service disruptions that have occurred on the Northeast Corridor, and it was really gratifying to hear, and I knew that we would get a good report from Kevin on all of the efforts. We're not responsible for Amtrak. They're our partner, and they're wonderful partners most of the time, but the service disruptions that we've experienced for our customers is just intolerable, and the committee is very aware that the customers are very frustrated, and they will appreciate all of the efforts that have been done at your level to try to make sure that that Amtrak is responsible for our disruptions on the Northeast Corridor. We've done everything I know possible to try to mitigate that, but until everybody can get to work and get where they're going, we have a credibility issue, which we will overcome. As Kevin says, in 45 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs, and as long as the administration is totally committed, you're not ignoring it at all. You don't want it to be happening, but I hope that everybody reaches out to Senator Booker and Secretary of Transportation Buttigieg and other people in Washington to try to resolve the Amtrak issues that plague us as we go into the summer. So I would want to comment that our next meeting is in September, and I would like to invite you. If any of the board members would like to attend our virtual meetings of North and South Jersey, we would really welcome your input, and we would really like to invite you to come. So that really concludes my report, and again, I apologize that I'm not there to talk about the budget tonight.
Thank you, Suzanne. Sally Jan Geller will present the Senior Citizen and Disabled Resident Transportation Advisory Committee report.
Good evening. I'm Sally Jane Geller, Chairperson of ScatterTAC, Senior Citizens Disabled Residents Transportation Advisory Committee. Things have been quiet at our committee. We have had a virtual meeting on Microsoft Teams in June with a presentation by John Adair of Somerset County's experience with electric vehicles. The county has had a good experience with some caveats. It is important to keep the vehicles within range while scheduling, and the cold weather affects the distance substantially. John says he does not see the county going all electric, but they have seen savings, and both drivers and passengers like the electric vehicles. Our subcommittees have been a little less active this summer, as we had the second hottest June in the past 129 years. That would be since 1895. So we're probably all just trying to stay cool. A number of our members announced that they are willing to continue through an additional term, so that renewal process has begun. We have some interested potential new members for North and Central Jersey and are working to approve candidates in those regions, but have not yet found new candidates from South Jersey. We have asked staff to request Southern County agencies to continue to publicize the vacancies, possibly by putting notices in their vehicles. Of course, we approve of action item 240742, the ScatterTAP grants. These programs really do improve the quality of life for many seniors and disabled residents. We note the passage of the state budget, although New Jersey Transit will not benefit from the announced corporate transit fee until fiscal year 2026. The ScatterTAP fiscal year allocations have been announced, as I mentioned. However, there's a potentially serious problem on the horizon with Coach USA recently announcing its intention to stop service on 20 bus routes in a few weeks. We expect that some of those passengers will look to the county systems for alternatives, stressing those departments. This is in addition to the disruption to the passengers who do not qualify for ScatterTAP rides. New Jersey Transit has recently taken over some other routes, and it looks like you'll be asked to pick up those routes too. I know the Bergen County Executive and Commissioners have asked that. We are pleased to have our meeting recordings made available to the public. Our meetings are open to the public. We invite the board, everyone here. We're usually the fourth Monday of the month at 10:30. But you have to know where to look for our recordings. You search for New Jersey Transit S-Rides, will get you to the page. Then you scroll down to Senior Citizens and Disabled Residents Transportation Program, Citizens Advisory Committee, where the sentence starting with "click here" constitutes a live link to recordings of past ScatterTax meetings on the Vimeo platform. We're looking forward to the next New Jersey Transit Accessibility Forum on September 11th. We've been served by past low attendance that this is such an important issue. An issue example at my station in Woodcliff Lake, also true at other stations, including the Morris and Essex line, is low-level platforms that make boarding the train impossible for some would-be passengers with a very high first step onto the train. This problem is compounded by Access Link not shadowing any New Jersey Transit trains, all deemed commuter trains, regardless of where they run. Someone who recently moved into my building in Woodcliff Lake, right across from the train station, asked me about accessibility. She'd love to use the train, but she's unable to make that large first step from the low-level platform. There's no local New Jersey Transit bus. I don't think Access Link shadows coaches 11A or 47, so if he will even have those routes much longer. So her only option will be the county system. We need more transit to be accessible to enable the county services to have maximum availability for those who most need the door-to-door service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sally Jane. Are there any comments from the public?
There are 7 in-person speakers and 7 pre-registered telephone speakers. In order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. We will first take elected officials, then priority access will be given to pre-registered in-person speakers, followed by any additional in-person speakers. We will then take comments from pre-registered telephone speakers, followed by any additional telephone participants who are queued to speak. Those participating by telephone, if you have not already done so, please press *1 on your telephone keypad to enter the queue to speak. You will hear a brief tone to indicate you have successfully entered the queue. The first speaker is Mayor Carr, followed by Orlando Riley.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Carr. I'm the mayor of the borough of Morris Plains, and I'm glad you brought up some dates, Mr. Corbett, President Corbett, because I think since 1983 we've been having problems with flooding at the underpass of the train station there. And you've been talking about wires, but I am going to be talking about flooding here today. I'm joined with Lieutenant McKay and Lieutenant Guild from my police department, and it has been so very frustrating moving forward and going through this. And I know, President, you were out at our site a few times, probably with the previous mayor, and we still have the same problem. So just going back only till 2017, our bridge was closed 6 times due to flooding. 2018, 9 times. 2019, 7 times. 2020, 5 times. 2021, 6 times. 2022, 9 times. 2023, 7 times. And so far in 2024, 5 times. I can go into man hours, and I know transit has been into man hours as well, but just for our department, we have usually 3 officers on duty, and they're often spent on either side of that bridge, blocking off traffic. You guys changed pumps probably about 2 weeks ago. We had a rain event on Friday. Neither pump worked. Neither pump. Saturday morning, we had another rain event. Same thing. Neither pump worked. There was no transit personnel on site. They were called and probably showed up within an hour or hour and a half or what have you. But this puts a burden on my town. It puts a burden on my businesses. It puts a burden on the people that park in New Jersey Transit parking that can't get a ride home or to work, whatever the case may be, or leaving your parking area. This is something that has been going on and on and on. I can finally put some names to some faces that I've yelled at on the phone out of thorough frustration. and I apologize. And none of your workers out there have ever disrespected me either. They always do their job, so I want to give kudos to them. But this is something that has to stop. Just this last event, we had, as soon as the bridge got pumped out, or the pumps got working, there was an emergency call for the next town over for an industrial accident that the ambulances had to go through. The following day, we had a lightning strike on the other side of town that the fire department had to go through, right after the bridge was, the flooding had alleviated. This is going to be a problem moving forward, safety. So it's not only an inconvenience, it's a major thoroughfare for police, fire, EMS, and the county. We've had county OEM talk about it. They've been at meetings of ours with your representatives. So I'm here today to just ask, let's get this fixed. You have billion-dollar budgets, millions of dollars going to different infrastructure projects, nothing in Morris Plains. And this has been going on since 1983, at least. So I'm asking the board, let's get something done for the residents, your riders, my businesses, and just the convenience. It's 2024. We put men on the moon. I can't pump out the underpass of the train station. So I appreciate the time, and I really hope you consider some sort of a fix. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Orlando Riley, followed by Jerome Johnson.
I don't know if we have enough room for everyone, but I'd ask the ATU brothers and sisters to just please stand up. Good evening, CEO Corbett and Chairman O'Connor and the rest of the board. My name is Orlando Riley, and I'm the chairman of the Amalgamated Transit Union, New Jersey State Joint Council, representing all of the individuals here who are standing and the thousands of workers who represent New Jersey Transit Bus Operation Agreement employees. The ATU has been fighting for dedicated funding for New Jersey Transit for decades. We have met with the governor to discuss the importance of dedicated funding. We've met with state legislators to discuss the importance of dedicated funding. And we talked to customers, encouraging them to speak to their state representatives. And finally, we have dedicated funding for New Jersey Transit, which is estimated to generate close to $1 billion a year. But the next step, seems like from New Jersey Transit, is to screw the workers who fought for the very funding that we're about to receive. And I say we because it is our company. This past Monday, the union was informed that Aetna Healthcare won the RFP to become the healthcare provider for New Jersey Transit employees, which I believe went out sometime in December of 2023. You may not be aware of this, but the ATU and New Jersey Transit have a joint health plan welfare committee. It's in our contract. This committee meets once a year in April to discuss the overall status of our healthcare plan. New Jersey Transit didn't even mention this at the last meeting, April 2024. Not one word, nothing. So what does the company do? Request a meeting with the union and company reps and consultants to discuss the change. And that's insulting, to say the least. Our CBA does state that New Jersey Transit has the right to change insurance carriers provided such coverage will result in equal or better coverage. Are we supposed to review a PowerPoint on what a paid consultant says the savings is to the company and the union members and believe that's equal or better? Equal or better is subjective. Please tell me what industry do you pay less and get equal or better? I don't know any, particularly the healthcare industry. You don't. We're currently experiencing this in this company. Our uniform contracts go to the lowest bidder, and what do we get? No uniforms for months. You may not know this. Some of our bus lines go out to lower betters, and you do know this, what do we get? You get subpar service, and they steal from New Jersey Transit. Please do not make this mistake with our health care. Great health care and pensions are the only two reasons you have employees working here today. Lower costs will only result in worse health care service. Not to mention the thousands of employees with medical conditions who are being treated by doctors under Blue Cross. A list of conditions that are too long to list. We've invested our sweat in this company. Several of our members lost their lives just a few years ago. Do not turn your back on us by switching from a health care coverage, which has covered our members excellent over the last decades. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jerome Johnson, followed by Martin Dunn.
Oh. Orlando. Powerful. Oh, we together. Oh, we together. Good evening. Chairman O'Connor, President Corbett, esteemed board. Orlando's message speaks for all of us, and not just for the agreement employees. This is for the entirety of New Jersey Transit. But I want to say this. Besides just sharing Orlando's sentiments, I'm going to just read my short speech. This abrupt change of our healthcare administrator can seriously affect our members, their spouses, their children, their serious health welfare condition. I would like to note, like I just said, but I'm going to reiterate it, this can affect everyone that is employed by New Jersey Transit, whether they are agreement or non-agreement employees. What about your police officers who get hurt and assaulted every day as well? Do they count? You guys want us to get along, but do they count? We count. They count. Do we count? I believe it's very problematic that New Jersey Transit did not provide me with any information on what Aetna will be providing, whether it was what doctors are considered in-network or out-of-network, was not provided anything regarding their prescription plans, just outright received nothing. Now, Vice President Cicaglia had to deliver this message to me. They gave him nothing. Nothing to provide our members to disseminate any type of information. That's not his fault. That's this Ninth Force fault. Let's get it correct here. I can't blame the messenger on this one, and I love to do it, but I can't. How can I convey and explain this change with our members with no information? It is also problematic that our union was not made aware of such a change, as Orlando said, that you've been discussing since 2023. Knowing that New Jersey Transit is self-insured and who administers the plan is not technically part of our collective bargaining agreement, but we do have a CBA, which outlines what medical coverage must be provided. Our members have doctors that they've been seeing for decades, and not knowing whether these doctors participate with Aetna can raise the cost of their members' health care if they choose to stay with those doctors and now they're considered out of network. Yes. I do not believe any member of this esteemed board would like to search for another doctor after building such a rapport with the doctors they are currently seeing. Lastly, to my members of Smart TD Local 60, and I want all of you to hear this. Our members have to come to work on a daily basis with the understanding that we may be assaulted for just doing our jobs. Just for, in the last day and a half, an hour ago, when somebody attacked my member with a bottle. Our members didn't sign up for this. Our members who are the frontline employees worked through the pandemic. Our members didn't raise the fares. Our members are not the cause for the summer of hell, but our members have to worry about going home without being harmed. We are the faces the riding public sees daily. We need this board to support their frontline employees and the riding public from these perpetrators by hiring more New Jersey Transit police officers so we can get the dedicated train riding that we need. Stop putting us against each other and help us. We ask this board to not allow our members to be assaulted again by changing the administrator of this new New Jersey Transit Healthcare Plan from Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna. We're tired of being assaulted. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Martin Dunn, followed by Stephanie Chernyavsky.
Thank you very much, board members. My name is Martin Dunn. I'm former editor-in-chief of the New York Daily News, now a documentary filmmaker. My colleagues and I have been working for many months now on a film investigating the full circumstances surrounding the death of a young woman, Tiffany Valente, on New Jersey Transit Railroad tracks in Mays Landing in July 2015. Now, as part of those inquiries, we would like to ask 3 very brief questions about the procedures and actions of New Jersey Transit and its police department. Number 1, is the investigation into the death of Tiffany still ongoing? If it is still ongoing, what is its status? And when can the family and its attorneys expect to be updated? Number 2, if the investigation is concluded, why, despite many requests, has evidence collected at the scene and other locations not been returned to the family and its attorneys to enable them to carry out their own independent investigation? And number 3, during the initial New Jersey Transit police investigation and over the subsequent 9 years, there has been mishandling, contamination, and loss of potentially significant evidence. Has New Jersey Transit instigated any inquiry into the manner in which that investigation was conducted? Now, we will, of course, submit these questions in writing, but would just add that this has been brought before the board this evening on behalf of the family and its attorneys to try and circumvent what appears to be almost a decade of intransigence, indifference, and a lack of transparency. And we thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Stephanie Chernyavsky, followed by Tim Nikonorov.
Good evening. Chernyavsky, and I am a summer fellow with Tri-State Transportation Campaign. We're a nonprofit that works towards sustainable and equitable urban planning and transit in the tri-state area. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the transit riders to voice my opposition to the 15% fare hike. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Approximately 4 million New Jersey residents take public transportation, many of whom are essential workers and may not have the money to purchase and maintain a personal vehicle. A large proportion of these riders are low income and will be disproportionately affected by the fare hike. Now that the state has approved the corporate transit fee, it is especially unfair to expect the ordinary transit riders to still bear the burden of funding the struggling transit system. The corporate transit fee should be put towards covering the necessary costs, namely New Jersey Transit's nearly $1 billion budget deficit, an amount which the fee is expected to raise close to in its first year alone. Despite a source of reliable funding being enacted, the hike is still in effect, only adding increased struggle to pay onto people already struggling with inconsistent service and delays. After years of having New Jersey Transit's projected budget in the negatives, why are we putting the burden onto riders when the revenue from the corporate transit fee will more than cover all of New Jersey's debt and more during the time it is in effect? As someone who depends on public transportation, I understand the frustration that comes with experiencing fare hikes when service is in such a poor state. Being expected to pay an additional 15% per trip to take a train or a bus that is 30 minutes late, 90 minutes late, or even just completely canceled at the last minute is insane. I have spoken directly with several New Jersey residents who have recently been missing shifts at work due to service being so unreliable that they have had no choice but to give up on waiting at their station and return home several mornings a week. Not only is their employment potentially in jeopardy, but they're also concerned with how poor service can lead to economic issues, with so much money being lost as a result of delays. The people of New Jersey do not deserve this, and they definitely do not deserve to pay extra for it. I urge the board to reconsider these fare hikes and do better by their riders. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Tim Nikonov, followed by Vito Havrilla.
Good evening. My name is Tim Nikonov, and I'm a summer fellow at the Tri-State Transportation Campaign. TSTC is a nonprofit group that advocates for sustainable transit and equitable urban planning practices in the New York metropolitan area. I'm here today in front of the board to discuss my support for the corporate transit fee and my opposition to the fare hikes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I want to start by congratulating the New Jersey government for approving the corporate transit fee in their budget to help fund NJ Transit. This fee, which will generate $917.8 million in its first year and target the largest corporations operating in New Jersey, is crucial for ensuring the survival of a system that thousands rely on for their commutes and other essential trips. New funding sources means maintaining and repairing the vital infrastructure that will help deal with the delays that have frustrated far too many riders. This past month has shown that riders don't deserve to pay more with all the delays and cancellations they must deal with on a daily basis. In light of the fee's successful passing, I am urging the board to reconsider the fare hikes that went into effect this month. These fare increases have placed a barrier to accessing NJ Transit for the working people of this state. Last month, I was at a rally in front of Newark Penn Station to support the corporate transit fee. One of the most moving testimonies I heard was from a working-class immigrant named Humberto Mendoza. He told us that because of the fare hikes, he could not afford to ride the 780 from Passaic to his job in Hackensack. It does not seem fair to me that the burden for NJ Transit's failings should fall on people like Humberto. These fare hikes are not only a morally unfair decision in a time of a cost of living crisis, but also a detriment to the growth of New Jersey. To paraphrase Zoe Baldwin from the Regional Plan Association at that rally in Newark, New Jersey won't be able to cope with population growth if we have to drive a car or if the transit system isn't reliable. While the corporate tax will help solve the issue of reliability for New Jersey Transit, higher fares may encourage the inefficient lifestyle of car travel. The fiscal shortfall has thankfully been averted with the corporate transit fee. We do not need to burden the working classes who hold up NJ Transit and the rest of the state with these fare hikes. I strongly ask the board to do right by the thousands that rely on them and roll back the unnecessary fare hikes that have worsened the commutes of NJ Transit riders. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Vito Havrilla, followed by Aaron Schertzer.
Hello, I'm Vito Havrilla. I'm the Legislative Director of the Lackawanna Coalition. We are an organization we are a transit advocacy organization based in Millburn, New Jersey. We meet every fourth Monday of the month, and we invite you all to join our organization. Our website is lackawannacoalition.org. Come see me if you're interested in joining or just attending a meeting. And I'm delivering our statement tonight. First, the fare increase of 15% plus 3% annually, ending the Flex Pass, and the imposition of 30-day ticket expiration. We like to state that these were bad policy proposals. On action item 204743, option on purchase of 36 new multi-level 3 vehicles, ridership still has not returned to pre-pandemic levels, and NJT predicts that ridership will grow. The new multi-level 3 power cars have not yet been delivered, yet NJT is exercising an option to purchase more, authorizing $178.5 million for new rail cars. Those funds can be used for the fiscal gap that NJT is facing, or NJT could use those funds for operations, for example, improving weekend service on the Montclair-Boonton line, or hiring more CDL bus drivers. The Gladstone branch, one of our members noticed the lack of inbound schedules at Gillette Station. Moreover, when there is substitute bus service on the Gladstone branch, even for just a couple days, ensure that there are notices at all stations. Next, how will New Jersey Transit handle the bankruptcy of Coach USA? Coach USA sent a letter July 10th stating it will file for bankruptcy and end its contract early, with the last day of service being Friday, August 16th. The situation certainly stands. Bergen County routes do have a replacement carrier. County government called on NJT to take over these routes. Passaic County routes will be run by Academy starting September 1st. There will be 2 weeks without service. Hudson County routes do not have a replacement carrier. Was NJT's plan to avoid leaving customers stranded for 2 weeks or more? Riders who depend on NJT will be stuck hailing very expensive rides if they can afford them. Next, NJT does not know its ABCs, the alternative backup contingencies. If you go to the NJT's website, ABC's list of alternatives for each station. However, some of them are inaccurate, misleading, and unrealistic. Example, Avenel Station, the alternative is the Hudson Bergen Light Rail in Bayonne. So that's not really that's not realistic. Also, we'd like to remind you that there's no customer service via telephone after 5 p.m. Finally, disruption on the coastline. There recently was a suspension of service on the North Jersey coastline starting Wednesday evening, July 10th, and all day on July 11th. Our membership director, George Coffer, applied to list ABCs for weekly service at NJCL. Go to our website to see details, and we've attached to our statement some details.
Thank you. The next speaker is Aaron Schertzer, followed by the telephone speakers.
Good evening. My name is Erin Scherzer, and I'm a Maplewood Rail commuter. For tens of thousands daily New Jersey Transit riders, the phrase "no whammy, no whammy, no whammy" summarizes the worrisome pit in our stomach each day we commute to from New York City. Multiple days each work week, we are smacked with whammy after whammy as we try to live our lives and sustain our families. Instead of the cute little red cartoon, we are red with embarrassment when we arrive to work yet again late. We are red with sadness and guilt when we miss our children's concerts and sports games. We are red with anger because we just want to get home after a long week. We are red with frustration when we're waiting for our train and it suddenly disappears from the track, from the screen. Instead of winning big money, we're shelling out big money for $120 Ubers home because we have no other way to get home. Instead of the $540 million big money that New Jersey Transit is spending on your brand new office, this place looks really great, we're riding in hot, single-decker trains with 1970s brown plastic seats. I also want to point out that New Jersey Transit regularly leaves big money on the table because the trains are so crowded you can't get through to collect the tickets. Our only consolation is knowing that the only thing reliable about New Jersey Transit is that it's 100% unreliable. We can't live this way. It's not fair to ourselves, it's not fair to our children, and honestly, it's not fair to you, because you don't want us coming here meeting after meeting saying the same exact things over and over again. While we're excited about the Gateway project, and that's fantastic, that's a lot that's not going to happen tomorrow. For perspective, my rising 7th grader will be a rising second-year attorney by the time the Gateway project is finished. Rising 7th grader, second-year attorney. The commuters in Maplewood and South Orange met recently, and just to know, there's over 200 of us that met, in addition to people adding written comments. We have specific asks from this board. We will email them in detail. I'm going to give a quick high level because I think you actually need to read through the content and allow time for other people to speak. 1, we need clear communication when things change and our transit plans, clear communication of where we're going, who, what, where, when, why, how. We need to expand capacity so that we can alleviate the traffic into Penn so that these necessary changes can happen. And we need to correct the serious and chronic public safety and health issues. There are serious ingress and egress issues that we see every single day as we ride the train. Above all, we want a prompt timeline for these changes. We are here to work with you. We are here to be your partner. But to be abundantly clear, we're not going to sit around waiting, and we're going to use every tool in our toolbox to make change.
Thank you. Operator, please open the floor to public comments by telephone participants.
Certainly. As a reminder, if you have not already done so, please press *1 on your telephone keypad to enter the queue to speak. You will hear a brief tone to indicate you have successfully entered the queue. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes for their public comment. A warning will be provided with 1 minute remaining and again with 15 seconds remaining. There are 16 public comments in queue at this time. The first public comment is coming from Matty Buchis-Highland. Matty, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Can you hear me, operator?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Terrific. Good evening, folks. I'm Matty W. Buchis-Highland. First of all, happy Disability Pride Month and ADA 34, which will be happening this Friday. The Americans with Disabilities Act was introduced by a U.S. Senator named Tom Harkin, a Democrat from Iowa, who introduced it in May of 1989 and was signed by then President George Herbert Walker Bush on July 26, 1990. Accessibility, in my view, is a human right, and is as well as yours. And second of all, I do wish, it's great to see Elizabeth Station opening. You had, Representative Rob Menendez, as well as Senator Joe Cryan, Chairman O'Connor, and CEO Corbett. But I also want to give a shout out to Assemblywoman Annette Quijano and Assemblyman Reginald Atkins of the 20th Legislative District for doing their part as well. And I also, last but certainly not least, I want to wish Chairman O'Connor a great congratulations on being a permanent commissioner. Thanks goes out to Senate President Nicholas Scutari, Majority Leader Teresa Louise, and Minority Leader Anthony Bucco, and Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman and Newton City Mayor Brian Steth. With that being said, everybody, I hope everyone has enjoyed the rest of your summer. God bless each and one of you, and we'll hopefully see you all in September, maybe in person or on the phone. Thank you very much, operator.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Gregory Fabiano. Gregory, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hi, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it. My name is Gregory Fabiano, and I am a commuter in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I want to just tell everybody that has been happening with the NJ Transit issues. I see a lot of individuals coming in and explaining the problem going on, but I wanted to give a real-world example. It has taken me almost 5 hours to get home some days for upwards of a week, sometimes 2, and there is no accountability. There is nobody telling us what's going to happen. The conductors, the signal operators, the individuals at Penn Station and beyond do not have any sort of update. I've emailed each and every one of you that are currently on this board and tried to get a conversation going. Nobody responded. I have spoken to all of my elected officials. I've spoken to individuals who have the sphere of influence to actually make change, to sit with Senator Booker and former Senator Menendez and Congressman Menendez, and to have these conversations, and to sit with Secretary Buttigieg, who just opened a federal investigation on Delta but can't open an investigation on why NJ Transit isn't working, and they want to blame Amtrak, and then Amtrak wants to blame you guys. It is your ownership to work together with Amtrak to fix the overhead wires, to work to make resolutions. You know what the problem is. We don't need investigations. We don't need continuous things going forward and back and forth. I went to Trenton. I was there with Senator Cryan. I was there with the union. I saw them pass the bill, and yet still nothing. I live right in front of the North Elizabeth train station. I have not seen any construction. I've not seen any work being done, and to tell us that it's going to be over a year and a half until something is fixed and changed is ridiculous. You owe it to us as the commuters, the people who are going into city. I go to Brooklyn for work, and you guys can't even dignify us with a response. You sit there with your political pontification, and you make sure that we are just told, oh, updates are happening, things are going on. Be better. You have the sphere of influence to make sure these changes are happening. You have the power to make it happen. You sit on the board. You sit on the board for the NJ Transit, and you still cannot take the actual initiative to make the change that needs to happen. You need to be better. You need to fix our trains and make sure that we can actually go to work. We are losing our jobs. We are losing money. You are not. I invite all of you to take the train. All of you, next week, take the train with us. Come here and see what it's actually like to take the train with us. Because if you don't, you won't know this problem. Thank you so much, and fix our trains.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Andy Weiss. Andy, your line is live, and your time will now begin.
Good evening. Where is our NJ Transit customer advocate, Board Member Nara? Where is our NJ Transit customer advocate, Board Member Nara? Where is our NJ Transit customer advocate, Board Member Nara? The NJ Transit Board has decided that they will not give us our mandated customer advocate during the entire corrupt Phil Murphy administration. This is what happens when the corrupt Democrats are in charge of our entire state government. Democrats gave us a fake customer advocate for a year, and now they refuse to follow the law and give us our real mandated customer advocate. NJ Transit is worse than it has ever been under this incompetent board and Kevin Corbett's lack of leadership. This board has no ethics and never speaks up for NJ Transit riders. Laws are just suggestions to this rotten board, and they pick and choose which laws they want to follow. The NJ Transit Board has no subject matter expertise about public transit because they are a bunch of political cronies and are a rubber stamp for Governor Murphy. Voting and state budgets will never fix NJ Transit because Democrats and Republicans hate NJ Transit riders. They hate us so much. The NJ Transit Board has no independence and only cares about getting future jobs in the corrupt Democrat Party. Governor Murphy, you run NJ Transit just like Chris Christie because you are a liar and a fraud. Democrats and Republicans have the same anti-public transit agenda. Voting will not fix both of these garbage political parties. Both parties are garbage. Democrats run New Jersey like the mafia, and Governor Phil Murphy is the corrupt godfather. Stop voting for Democrats.
1 minute remaining.
Stop voting for Democrats. Stop voting for Democrats. They are NJ Transit haters. Democrats hate public transit. Democrats hate working people. Stop voting for the Democrat Party because they are compulsive liars. The NJ Transit Board stole a customer advocate. The Democrats are a disgrace. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Sarah Ross. Sarah, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to echo what Aaron had said earlier. Just that it's been a really rough summer of commuting. Both my husband and I go in to New York. I go in twice a week. He goes in 3 times a week, and we've had to adjust our schedule. Luckily, I have a flexible work arrangement, but my husband does not, and I can't help but think of all of the families out there who also don't have that and have had to get fined for late daycare pickup, mixed important family events. And what I want to highlight is just how bad the communication continues to be when something goes wrong. I think last week was the first time I had ever seen anything proactive. There was an Excel spreadsheet that was put online that at least said which trains were getting canceled and which ones to take, which I really appreciated. It made my husband's commute on Thursday a lot easier, but would love for that to continue and would love for more features to be available on the app. For example, last week he had to take a train to Rutherford and it was just listed that he could take another train instead, but that train did not appear anywhere on the screen, on the app. The people at Hoboken didn't know anything about it, so it was cool that it was there, but we didn't even know how to access it, and that seems to happen a lot with ghost trains, trains that we're told will be there, and then we have no idea how to access them. And a lot of times when you go on the app, when there's issues, it's kind of just HTML junk. All you can see is, like what the developer put there and not like actual actionable things about what we can do to make our commute easier. I'll be honest, last week, 2 weeks ago, when I heard about the AC stuff, I stayed home. I was terrified of getting stuck in Penn or Hoboken in a car that was sweltering with heat. And I know many of my commuters in Maplewood and South Orange had to experience unsafe
1 minute remaining.
conditions. So just hoping that the board really takes into consideration the 3 asks that Aaron is going to share and hope that we can continue making New Jersey Transit better. I want public transit to work. I moved here because of the proximity to New York City. I grew up on Metro North. I didn't experience any of this, and I know there's a lot out of our hands because of Amtrak, but what is in our hands is how we communicate, how we cross honor, and contingency planning. So thank you so much for hearing us tonight, and I'm all set.
The next public comment is coming from Elodie Weinman. Elodie, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elodie Weinman, and I recently became a Transportation and Environmental Justice Summer Fellow at Tri-State Transportation Campaign. TSTC is a nonprofit advocacy organization that is dedicated to improving transportation all across the Tri-State area. In my role there, I've learned about the struggles, challenges, and possibilities of public transportation, specifically the ones residents and users of NJ Transit face. Today, I'm here to do two things. The first is to congratulate those who worked on the passing of the corporate transit fee. This fee will uphold a 2.5% tax on businesses making $10 million or more in profit. According to the new budget projections, the tax will generate the dollars necessary to lift NJ Transit out of its almost $1 billion debt and pave the way for the growth of the agency. However, the second thing I'm here to discuss is the 15% fare hike that was implemented in the process of passing the transit fee. This fare hike is unnecessary, especially after the passing of the corporate transit fee, because the fee leaves NJT almost entirely out of debt, and adding this on top of that seems like an unnecessary burden being placed on riders and commuters. I would like to urge the NJ Transit Board of Directors to reconsider the transit fare hike. The fare hike is a problem that affects all riders and users of NJ Transit, but most notably lower income families and people of color, as they make up the majority of riders. Lower-income families and people of color use buses and trains as main tools to get to and from work, as well as do tasks like going to do laundry, grocery shopping, etc. It is a tool that is necessary to a prospering life for most New Jersey residents. Therefore, when you increase fare and decrease accessibility, all the users and riders who benefit and depend on the system will be unable to do all these things. If the NJ Transit Board of Directors is capable of helping its citizens, getting rid of this fare hike is the first thing that needs to be done to help them. Lower-income individuals often have no viable transportation alternative in comparison to more wealthy people who may have access to private vehicles or other transportation options. This dependency on public transit makes them particularly vulnerable to implementations like the 15% fare hike, because even a small increase in transit fares can significantly impact their ability to afford daily commuting. Alongside the fare increase, New Jersey transportation users experience delays, cancellation, and an overall lack of care towards a system that is so heavily dependent on. This is why I'm here today, to urge the NJ Transit Board to stop this 15% fare hike and make transit more accessible to all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next public comment will be from Julie Liu. Julie, your line is live and your time will now begin.
My name is Julie Liu. I have lived in the South Orange Maplewood community since 2011 and rely upon the New Jersey Transit trains to commute to my job in the city. The train service has been getting progressively worse each year. This year in particular has been horrific with delays and failures. I recognize that the larger infrastructure issue will not be remedied until the new tunnel is built and the old tunnels are repaired. In the meantime, I ask that you listen to your passengers and acknowledge that there are a myriad of issues outside of the new tunnel that need addressing immediately. In many cases, these fixes will require funding, and we need to work together so we can advocate together to our local and federal authorities for such funds. This cannot be accomplished until you acknowledge that there are problems. The first ask I have is clear and accurate communication for train service. There are constant issues with track numbers not being posted for trains and trains disappearing from the screens, both in-person screens and departure vision in the app. The posting of track numbers for each train that is boarding is a basic thing New Jersey Transit should be able to do. For example, on July 10th, I was at Penn Station to catch the 552 train to South Orange. The train was delayed and eventually dropped off the screen. There was a verbal announcement that the 552 train accidentally fell off the screen and that it would be put back on the screen. The train was never put back on the screen that I saw. I waited and happened to hear a verbal announcement where I caught the word Maplewood. I could barely hear what the announcer was saying, but managed to hear Maplewood, so deduced there was a Maplewood train boarding somewhere. This Maplewood train was not listed on the screen either. I ran around in a panic trying to figure out which track it was on and finally boarded the delayed 610 train to Maplewood. Passengers need to be informed of the gate numbers for departing trains. What is causing the issue of track numbers not being posted for boarding trains? Does the software need to be upgraded? Are more New Jersey Transit staff needed to enter the track info? Do New Jersey Transit staff need walkie-talkies or some other communication system so they can relay train status and gate numbers to the person entering the gate numbers in the software system? Can the volume of the verbal announcements be turned up so that folks can actually hear track announcements and changes in service announcements? If the volume cannot be turned up, can a new speaker system be installed so that the announcements can be heard clearly? I ask that you acknowledge there is an issue with relaying gate numbers and changes in service to passengers, investigate the cause of these issues, and propose solutions. If that solution involves additional funding, we, the passengers, can help you advocate for such funds. The second ask I have is to address health and safety issues. For
15
example,
seconds remaining.
functioning air conditioning systems is a basic thing. What is causing the AC systems to break down? Do the AC systems need more frequent maintenance, or do they need to be replaced? In closing, I acknowledge that there are problems, so we can work together to advocate for solutions. I fully support the 3 asks of the SOMA New Jersey Commutes Group. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Jason Anthony. Jason, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Good evening, everyone. Jason Anthony from the Long Island Railroad 88 Task Force. Quick question to Kevin Stephen Corbett. I wonder why no event wasn't announced regarding Disability Pride Month. Today's Wednesday, July 24th, and no event hasn't been announced. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority, better known as the MTA, has done announcements and done videos regarding this. But why is it that New Jersey Transit Corporation is being naughty regarding this important community? Second, Chantinero has been 5 years since we had our customer service advocate. Where is it? We're still waiting for it. And why is it that board members could be virtually? Why not us, the public? And why we have to wait on the phone for over an hour? The MTA lets the public participate virtually over Zoom. Why cannot New Jersey Transit Corporation do the same? Kevin Stephen Corbett, I have a message for you. We don't want presentations spoken. We want your reports to be visual.
1 minute remaining.
Because your presentations are so boring that we don't even understand them. General Lieber does his monthly reports that we could see them. Because your reports are so laughable that when something happens, where are you? We want to see your presence. And nothing has been mentioned regarding the Riverline incident. Where are you when things happen, Kevin Stephen Corbett? We want an explanation from you. So that's all I have to say for this month. I will see you guys next month.
Thank you. The next public comment will come from Adam Reich. Adam, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Good evening. First of all, Board Member Nara, please provide a detailed update on the customer advocate. It's been several months since we've had one. This is a position New Jersey Transit is required by law to fill and has had vacant for 3.5 years. In particular, what troubles me about this is more than 4 years ago, I and 13 other riders were promised a customer advisory board. The excuse has been that since we don't have a customer advocate, we can't have these meetings. I would love nothing more than to help this agency and to help my fellow riders. If you provide us with a mechanism to meet with riders on your behalf and take some of the pressure off and have the bi-monthly meetings we were promised, It would go a long way, especially since we are being asked to pay so much more for service. Further, I hear a lot of discussion about Amtrak and the infrastructure issues, but what I don't hear is a discussion of rail operations maintenance. Mean distance between failure for the month of June was reported at 55,317 miles. That is far and away the lowest it has been since the data published going back to January of 2017. Why is it so low? Is it an across-the-board issue? Is it one type of equipment? Further, we used to get more transparency with this type of data. We used to get a breakdown of equipment type. Quarterly, we would be told, how are the multi-levels doing? How are the comets doing? This disappeared about a year ago. Riders know what type of equipment they're riding. We want to know what the trends are and what's being done to fix them. Part of data should at least be as transparent, if not more, as you're asking us to pay significantly more in fares. Can we please demand that this data be published, a breakdown of MDBF by equipment type, at least quarterly? Echoing the previous caller, I am so shocked that the president and CEO has nothing to report on the River Line, which routinely sees about half of its weekday departures canceled because of mechanical issues. What is being done to hold Alstom, the operator, accountable? Do New Jersey Transit and Alstom have a plan to provide riders with permanent relief? Why is there no relief in terms of fare expiration or fare increases on this line when you can't operate half of the service? Similarly, with rail, with the extensive cancellations, why impose a 30-day cancellation now? Why not put this in abeyance for at least 60 or 90 days until you can give riders consistent service? Lastly, the board's not scheduled to meet in August. That really should change. Given the widespread issues, it's imperative that you meet, that you give the public answers, that you communicate with us, and that you hold staff accountable publicly. I would stress in particular, board members Weiss and Carson, you represent bus and rail riders. That's what your position is. Please, let's hear from you tonight. What are you doing to push for accountability here? Again, we need communication. Let's do better. Let's have a dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Coeli Campbell. Coeli, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hi. Good evening. So I just have two comments. I really feel duped by New Jersey Transit, and I leave two examples. One, I live along one of the transit villages that is being promoted along the M&E line. And I just feel like, I just came to Jersey less than 3 years ago and really under the, persuasion that, it would be a train line. I can get into the New York City. I work in Brooklyn, New York, and I can get to work easily if I chose to live along this line. And it's been a disaster, and it's not sustainable. And I feel like, although maybe it's not only New Jersey Transit to blame here, but I don't see how, the different city officials along this line, along with New Jersey Transit, can, promote these transit villages, because they are not sustainable if New Jersey Transit does not function and operate the way it should. That's number one. Number two is we just had a fare hike, and the fare hike happened, previous to a lot of admission of issues that exist on for New Jersey Transit and Amtrak. And I feel like a lot that has been revealed since should have been known prior to this fare hike. And I really don't understand what this fare hike, what the proceeds are being used for. And I think the public is owed an explanation of that. How is this being used? If there's no remedy to improving this system, then what was the need to have this fare hike, especially in light that the government tax was passed? Thank you.
Thank you. There are 8 comments left in queue at this time. Once again, you can press star 1 on your phone if you wish to enter queue to make a public comment. Next public comment is coming from William Ritzler. William, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Thank you and good evening. Recent press reports have focused on the failures of New Jersey Transit and Amtrak to support reliable passenger rail service between New York and New Jersey. While the effort to document and report on these service disruptions is justified and certainly worthwhile, it ignores another long-term problem: ongoing service reliability issues associated with the Atlantic City Rail Line. In fact, service reliability problems on the Atlantic City Rail Line have existed from the May 2019 restoration of service following implementation of Positive Train Control. In the spring of 2022, public transportation advocates met with New Jersey Transit staff to discuss long-standing problems of excessive train delays and cancellations on the Atlantic City Rail Line. Advocates presented evidence from New Jersey Transit's own Twitter account that documented the number of delays and cancellations, as well as the causes identified for the individual service disruption events. New Jersey Transit staff agreed with the validity of the data and indicated that, while some of the circumstances were beyond the ability of staff to resolve, advocates should wait for the completion of the pending Atlantic City Rail Line service analysis study to determine what steps New Jersey Transit could take to address reliability problems. Advocates were one of the many stakeholders that participated in an online initial meeting in late June 2022 that identified the study goals and scope. Advocates also participated in the final meeting held online during mid-December 2022. The outcome of the Atlantic City Rail Line service analysis study was that no significant improvements could be achieved due to infrastructure constraints, and that no action would be taken. Public transportation advocates were left nonplussed. Based on conversations with passengers that ride the Atlantic City Rail Line frequently, the reliability issues continue, albeit crew availability issues have diminished. The perception of the passengers is that ACRL remains unreliable and unattractive. The New Jersey Transit approach to ACRL appears to be a self-defeating loop. Service levels are poor due to low passenger counts, and more people do not ride the line due to poor service levels. I am making one request. Please fix the Atlantic City Rail Line. I outlined a number of initiatives, which I'll skip due to lack of time. But they include New Jersey Transit beginning an aggressive ACRL-specific initiative with the goal of reducing delays to the maximum extent possible. Given the current financial commitments that New Jersey Transit has, I don't have any expectations that New Jersey Transit will, of its own initiative, address any of the items that would correct the Atlantic City Rail Line in the near future, if ever. I use this meeting as a platform to ask the media and political leadership of the state of New Jersey to become aware of the problems experienced by ACRL riders daily in the hope that someone in a position of power will take initiative to correct the problems. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Emily Regas. Emily, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Emily, and I'm a proud member of the South Orange and Maplewood New Jersey Transit Group. We have 3 asks of New Jersey Transit, and these actions are not dependent on Amtrak fixing its issues or the new tunnels. They can and they should be taken now. Ask number 1, clear and accurate communication on rail service. This includes accurate, consistent, and complete train statuses, updates, and messaging across all your platforms. Reliable notifications that we as commuters can set up via email, text, or push notifications on your app. Timely and robust communications to employees so they can better help commuters in real time when the actions are happening. Ask number 2, contingency planning. This is an important one. Create a backup schedule and plan that can be actualized when needed. This includes providing alternative capacity beyond the existing scheduled service. This includes cross-honoring on all past stops, extra buses, and cross-honoring on ferries from all locations other than Hoboken to diffuse the traffic when Penn Station is compromised. Empower on-site management at Hoboken and Penn to make decisions when regular service is disrupted. And strategically employ extra equipment in anticipation of weather that taxes the system. Ask number 3, correct and address health and safety issues. Please ensure that sufficient train crew staffing and equipment are available to eliminate unsafe levels of crowding on trains and on platforms. Please work with on-site New Jersey staff, partner transit agencies, and public officials to prevent unsafe levels of crowding in the stations, especially when normal operations are disrupted. And please proactively maintain all your rail cars, including HVAC systems, which incredibly harm people with medical conditions or are pregnant. I thank you for.
Thank you, Emily. You finished with your comments?
Oh, yes, I am. Thank you so very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. The next public comment will be coming from Jennifer Warren. Jennifer, your line is live, and your time will now begin.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I also live off of the Morris and Essex line, like many other people at this meeting tonight. And I just wanted to basically reiterate what everyone else who lives off the Morris and Essex line has already said. Trains are extremely unreliable. We don't know if we can get to work or if we're going to get to work on time. We leave several hours in the morning before we even plan to start meetings because we're honest to God not sure if we'll get there. So, for example, we don't plan to start our important meetings until after 10 a.m., which is really horrible and, you know, definitely pretty unprofessional, but it's the sad reality we face on the Morris-Essex line. In any event, we just can't get into the city some days, and many nights we can't get home from the city. As others have said, there's not reliable communication going on once we're at Penn Station or looking at departure vision. We are lucky enough to be able to walk back to our offices, my husband and I, and continue working. But, you know, it also puts our family life in a lot of jeopardy with my parent watching our kids and just not knowing when we'll get home, if we'll get home, if we'll need to pay, as I think Aaron said, $120 for an Uber during rush hour just to get home and put our kids to bed. It's really sad. It's extremely stressful. It's caused a lot of, I'm sure, poor mental health problems for very many of us, and we're just suffering. I know that so many of us are suffering because of Amtrak and NJ Transit's train problems, but we're honestly suffering. I wish that something could be done sooner. All the suggestions I heard tonight, which are very realistic suggestions, have been really great. But I just want to reiterate those and, you know, say that we're sad. Thank you.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Melissa Soncoli. Melissa, your line is live, and your time will now begin.
Hi, I'm a commuter on the Morris and Essex line, also from South Orange, Maplewood, and I wanted to encourage you to adopt the commuter's 3S. I appreciate that a lot of the operating challenges you're facing these days are, you know, in part because of Amtrak, but there's also plenty within NJ Transit's control. I spoke last month on the operations and customer service meeting about issues with departure vision. And if anything, it seems to have gotten worse. It's turning my evening commute home into a veritable scavenger hunt every night just to find the train. Last Thursday, for example, the 514 did not get a track until after its scheduled departure. So it had already disappeared from the board. I've started going down to track to just a minute, please. Okay, just a minute, please, sweetie. I've started going down to the tracks to look for my train to see if I can identify it based on the information on the side of the train. But eventually it was posted not on a New Jersey Transit Departure Board, but only on the Amtrak Consolidated Board. So obviously, well within New Jersey Transit's control should be displaying the appropriate tracks and, keeping them on the board until the train has actually left the station. Separately related to the new ticket expiration periods, Metro North has a 60-day validity period for one-day and round-trip tickets and a 6-month validity period for 10-trip tickets. So they're obviously able to distinguish between the fact that it will likely take that somebody might take longer to use a 10-trip ticket as opposed to just a round trip. I'm not sure why this isn't something that can be done for New Jersey Transit as well. The other thing is I bought a 10-trip pass tonight. And, I was expecting it to be valid for 30 days, which by my calculation is Friday, August 23rd. There are 7 days in a week, so 4 weeks is 28 days. And then add 2 to get to 30. So 4 weeks from today is August 21st. 4 weeks and 1 day from today is August 22nd. And 4 weeks and 2 days is August 23rd, which would be the 30 days. Strangely, my tickets that I just bought today expire August 22nd. So I think it's, at best misleading to say that they're valid for 30 days when it looks like it's really only 29 and kind of adds insult to injury as far as the whole validity period is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. There are 3 more comments in queue. Again, it's *1 if you wish to make a comment. The next comment is coming from Bibi Spanier. Bibi, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hi, my name is Bibi Spanier. I live in Maplewood, and I'm really calling in just to reinforce what Aaron Schertzer and others have said from the South Orange Maplewood Commutes Group. I hope that you will consider those requests very seriously. Although obviously there are some longer-term fixes that are in the works, and there is a certain amount of blame to be assigned to Amtrak, it does very much seem like there are many things within New Jersey Transit's control that could be done to make lives easier for commuting families like mine. What I have always wondered about is why New Jersey Transit leaves so many fares uncollected. This has happened to me just when the conductor didn't come through or when the train was too crowded for the conductor to come through. I have ridden other transit systems where, for example, customers have to punch their ticket in a little machine on the platform, and if they haven't punched it, they can be fined by the conductor. I'm sure there are similar things that could be done with a phone app. And so I find it very strange that this fare hike is taking place, but yet New Jersey Transit is also not collecting so many fares. That's my comment. Thanks.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Sheena Collum. Sheena, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Sheena Collum. I'm the mayor of South Orange, and I'm also speaking on behalf of Maplewood Mayor Nancy Adams. Thank you for this opportunity. There was a previous speaker that I just want to address something. I am a Democrat, and I also love mass transit, and I absolutely love working families, and especially all the workers affiliated with New Jersey Transit. And I didn't want to get any revisionist history in the way here, is that if we had proceeded forward with the Access to the Region's Core, the ARC project under Chris Christie, it would have been done, but it was canceled under a Republican governor. So first I'll start by saying that I thank Governor Murphy, our federal representative, New York, the Port Authority, New Jersey Transit, Amtrak, and everybody who was involved with actually securing $16 billion to get this much needed, long overdue infrastructure back on track, no pun intended. But with that said, it's not going to be for another decade. And our commuters, as you've likely seen from the news and my advocacy here, is they need relief now. They are suffering. They're absolutely amazing. You heard from them tonight, and they have been dealing with this for several months now, and they're just not getting the TLC that they need from the New Jersey Transit Board of Directors. They don't want audits. They don't want a SWOT analysis or a Venn diagram. and from work to come back and pay their property taxes, the highest property taxes in the entire country, and also pay for the 15% fare increase. This does not feel like the summer of hell in 2017. There was so much care and concern from the New Jersey Transit family. If you remember, there was ongoing improvements in communications that were nonstop. There was added ferry service. There was cross-honoring virtually everything. It was a way to show commuters, we feel your pain, we understand. We're here. We're not even ticketing right now. And there was customer service representatives to answer questions for our commuters. And most importantly for me, also as somebody who's involved in the Office of Emergency Management, is that the overcrowding issue that's happening on the trains, especially at Hoboken, without air conditioning. We've had reports of people actually New Jersey Transit Police in order for them to help, for people having panic attacks, for somebody who is pregnant, also feeling very uneasy about the. If you think about it, locally, we have building codes, we have fire codes. Senior citizens in my community can't even have a mahjong tournament if they're over capacity, and yet we're accepting that literally on our infrastructure, on our transit infrastructure, and it's not a safe situation. So first and foremost, I would say the safety of our riders, and then I'm here to work with you. I'm sure all of the mayors, our local government officials, we're here to support you. We want to do something, but you've got to take the lead. So it's my honor to be here to represent our commuters in South Orange and Maplewood. And again, thank you all for your public service.
Thank you. The next public comment is coming from Johan Andrade. Johan, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Good evening, members of the NJ Transit Board. My name is Johan Andrade. I reside in North Bergen in Hudson County, and I'm here to express my deep concern about the termination of Coach USA's bus routes in North Jersey, particularly the bus route number 88. I'm a former student from over a decade ago who relied heavily on bus route 88 to commute to my university in Newark. And I can personally attest to the critical role this route plays in the lives of students and residents. During my college years, bus 88 was my only means of getting to the campus, and without it, completing my degree would have been significantly more challenging, if not impossible. So this route is not just a number, it represents a lifeline for hundreds and thousands of students who will be returning to school in late August. The premature termination of coaches' agreements, particularly the routes in Hudson, Bergen, and Passaic counties, I know it places NJ Transit in a difficult position. There's only a few weeks' notice left. The task of finding drivers and possibly another private contractor to take over these routes is a big challenge, especially given the current challenge in staffing the bus routes. But the decision to terminate these routes, including number 88, will have far-reaching consequences for our students, employees, and residents who depend on this service daily. And this isn't the first time NJ Transit has faced such a challenge. We saw last year a similar situation when ANC abruptly ended their services on several routes in Jersey City. NJ Transit responded with an emergency stabilization plan, creating new bus routes and extending existing ones to ensure continued service for the affected riders. This swift action taken then ensured that communities didn't lose their vital transportation links. Furthermore, reducing the number of available bus routes will inevitably lead to increased car dependency and traffic congestion. Fewer bus routes mean more people will be forced to rely on private vehicles, exaggerating traffic issues and contributing to environmental concerns. So it's crucial to maintain robust public transportation options to mitigate these negative effects and support our sustainable urban mobility. So in closing, I ask you to consider the impact on the lives of those who depend on this service. Saving bus route 88 and the other routes from Coach USA is not just about maintaining a transportation service, it's about preserving the access to education and opportunity for thousands of students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next public comment will be from Jimmy Lee. Jimmy, your line is live and your time will now begin.
Good evening, Board. Jimmy Lee with Safe Streets, Jersey City. I'm a resident of Jersey City and ride New Jersey Transit buses, light rail, and trains. And when I ride around the city on my bike to get stuff done, I also make frequent use of the shared multi-use path alongside the light rail in Hoboken. Today, I want to also ask for New Jersey's transit help in saving the bus lines contract with Coach USA. Bus 88, 84, and 2 in Hudson County. These lines represent roughly 11,000 riders each weekday. That's over 3 million rides a year. If those 3 bus lines were a rapid transit line, it would be the 14th largest rapid transit system in the United States. We know when New Jersey Transit has taken over bus lines, reliability has gone up, ridership increases. There's often a good case to be made to continue to increase that frequency. We hope for the same for these bus lines. And so understand that there's a cost here, there's a time issue here, but there's also an opportunity here where, as we've taken over those bus lines, New Jersey Transit has done a better job and it's better served the community here. Related to that, I previously asked, without knowing that this one of these lines was contracted with Coach USA, but bus 88 and 10 run along JFK Boulevard in Hudson County. They both terminate in the heart of Hudson County at Journal Square. They stop. If you're coming from Bayonne, you're coming from North Bergen, you're trying to go a little bit further past Journal Square, you can't do that. You have to transfer to another bus line. It's a waste of time. It doesn't, fully serve the whole county when it's just halfway through and then you got to get off and transfer. I also want to ask for an update on the Hudson bus redesign. We know that these bus routes were designed from old trolley routes, some of which are legacies from 100 years ago. They have no knowledge of new buildings, of new patterns of commute, of even the existence of the light rail. And we really need this. A lot of these bus lines don't make sense. I'm going to call out bus 86 again. It has a crazy loop because someone asked to save a different bus line. 2 bus lines that had nothing to do with each other were combined. And what happened? It resulted in less ridership than those 2 individual bus lines before. It's a loop. It looks like Pac-Man just running around the city, just trying to loop around. It doesn't make any sense. And I asked for to look in that. Last, to the board chair, all of these NJDOT and the Turnpike Authority, with all these ongoing issues, I really ask for a relook at the Turnpike widening. There's an unprecedented sum of $24 billion in highway expansion, more than 3 times the size of the previous capital plan. There's obvious public transit investment issues here. Please reconsider. The mayor of Newark doesn't want it. The mayor of Jersey City doesn't want it. The mayor of Hoboken doesn't want it. Look at all these urgent issues. Let's please invest in New Jersey Transit. Thank you.
Thank you. There were no other public comments at this time.
Thank you, public speakers. Are there any board member comments?
Yeah, I'll make a couple comments. Number one, every speaker that speaks here, we listen. We take it to heart. And as a board, we know the service that has been provided over the last month, as Kevin said, has been unacceptable. But I have to assure everybody that we are working hard with our partner Amtrak to make sure we fix the problems to provide the service that our riders deserve. The second comment, I have to thank our brothers and sisters from the union being here and providing their comments to us through here and in their letters. We can't further comment on that because it is still an ongoing process. Okay, so, but we hear you and we thank you for your comments. And third, on the customer advocate. Since I've been here for 6 months, I have watched board member Nara work hard on getting a qualified candidate. And, people think she's not, she has many jobs, but I've seen her work real hard and she'll probably give an update on where we are with that. And that's my comments. Does anybody else have comments?
Thank you. I want to address the last couple comments about the Coach Suburban bankruptcy announcement. I just want to say one of the callers did mention the incredible work that Transit did to try to step in and ameliorate the closing of certain bus lines in North Jersey in the last 18 months. And I can't speak for the board right now, and I am not even speaking personally to say that there's a plan in place yet, but all I can say is that the people in the bus division are so aware of the needs of our riders and the other citizens of New Jersey, and they did yeoman's work last year to do what they could, and understanding, I hope people understand that there are so many factors that go into transit being able to step in and take over a line, and it's money, it's having personnel, it's having enough buses. There's so many things that go into it, and it needs to be a thoughtful process and understanding that there's a very short timeline. I hope all of the people listening here or who are worried about how their lives are going to be impacted by the closing of these lines understand that the staff and the employees here at New Jersey Transit equally understand what catastrophe could be for people, and will work very hard to see what, if anything, is possible for this agency to do. So I want to say that, and because many people who've heard me know that I am a bus rider, I ride Coach USA. So they haven't said anything yet about my line, but I'm just waiting for that shoe to drop. So I too can understand everyone's pain. I take that every day into the city from East Brunswick, New Jersey. So I do understand. And the other thing I will say about the customer advocate, I can't provide any details, but I can just say that the process is hopefully reaching a conclusion soon. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional board member comments?
Board Member Cruz will present the Operations and Customer Service Committee report.
Thank you, Chair. The Operations and Customer Service Committee received an update on trends, analysis, and actions for rail, bus, light rail, and Access Link. The committee also received an update on the cost of service. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Caniff will present the Administration Committee report.
There we go. Thank you. The Administration Committee received a financial update. This included a summary of operating results compared to the previous year's comparable period and fiscal year 24 budget, 12-month fare box revenue compared to pre-COVID, major balance sheet items, and federal COVID relief grant drawdown summary. Additional information was provided as part of the agenda materials, including the cost of service key performance indicators, 12-month fare box recovery, history of vacancies, attrition and hires, ridership and revenue, and a monthly budget to actual comparison for May 2024. The committee also received updates from Human Resources and Equal Employment Opportunity and Affirmative Action. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Wise will present the Capital Planning, Policy, and Privatization Committee report.
We're having trouble hearing him. It's not feeding into the room. No, we're not, still not hearing you in the room. Oh, Board Member Cruz said he would do it.
The Capital Planning, Policy, and Privatization Committee reviewed the board items for the fiscal year 2025 authorization to secure capital funding, NJ Transit fiscal year 2025 grant programs, local transportation for senior citizens, persons with disabilities, rural and low-income residents, railing rolling stock program, purchase of 36 option multi-level 3 vehicles and contract amendment for engineering services, design, engineering, and construction assistance services for the Union City Bus Garage and Terminal Project, and NJ Transit-owned real estate transmittal. That concludes Evan Weiss's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Nara will present the Safety Committee report.
Thank you, Chairman. The Safety Committee was provided an update by the Agency Safety Management Department on key safety performance indicators for rail, light rail, bus, access link, construction safety, and accident investigations in the first quarter of 2024. Safety Training and Outreach delivered 7 rail, bus, and pedestrian safety awareness presentations. The team also engaged with approximately 659 students at 6 elementary schools and 1 high school in the southern and northern regions of New Jersey, which are located near New Jersey Transit operations. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. President and CEO Corbett will present the action items.
Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer to present item 2407-40 regarding the fiscal year 25 operating budget. Jackie?
Thank you, Kevin. We are presenting for approval item number 2407-40, fiscal year 2025 operating budget. Authorization is requested to adopt the fiscal year 2025 operating budget in the amount of $3.0035 billion. We ask for your approval of item number 2407-40.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-40?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brantis?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kaniff?
Yes.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Sorry. Now I'd like to introduce John Gray, Chief Capital Compliance, Budget and Administration, to present Board Item 2407-41. -41 regarding the capital funding.
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item 2407-41, fiscal year 2025 authorization to secure capital funding. Authorization is requested to take whatever actions are necessary to seek and secure the funds envisioned by this program of projects. Authorization is also requested to transfer funds, funding sources, and amounts among program projects as circumstance requires, in compliance with the terms and conditions of the grants and other funding sources. And finally, authorization is also requested to make application, execute contracts or agreements, and take whatever other actions are necessary to seek and secure funds consistent with the basic intent of this program, which may become available subsequent to its adoption. We ask for your approval of item 2407-41.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-41?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brantis?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kaniff? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried. For the record, Board Member Nara is recused from item 2407-42 and will not comment or vote on the item.
Great, thank you, Megan. I'd now ask John to continue with 2407-42 regarding the funding for the Scatter Tap program.
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item 2407-42, New Jersey Transit Fiscal Year 2025 Grant Programs, Local Transportation for Senior Citizens, Persons with Disabilities, Rural and Low-Income Residents. Authorization is requested to execute, extend, or modify all agreements and contracts, and to take all other steps necessary to implement the FY 2025 Grants Program as set forth in the board item. We ask for your approval of item 2407-42.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-42?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brantis?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kaniff? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I'd now ask John to carry on with item 2407-43 regarding rail rolling stock. John.
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item number 2407-43, Rail Rolling Stock Program, purchase of 36 option multi-level 3 vehicles and contract amendment for engineering services. Authorization is requested to exercise an option under the existing contract with Alstom Transportation, Inc. of New York, for the purchase of 36 option multi-level 3 vehicles at a cost not to exceed $170 million, plus 5% for contingencies, for a total authorization of $178,500,000, subject to the availability of funds. Authorization is also requested to amend the professional services contract with Hatch of Ambler, Pennsylvania, for the engineering assistance of the manufacture of 36 option multi-level 3 vehicles at a cost not to exceed $700,000 plus 5% for contingencies for a total authorization of $735,000, subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item 2407-43.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-43?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brontes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Koenig?
Yes.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great, thank you. I'd now ask John to carry on with 2407-44 regarding the Union City Bus Garage.
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item 2407-44, Design, Engineering, and Construction Assistance Services for the Union City Bus Garage and Terminal Project. Authorization is requested to enter into a contract with HDR Inc. of Newark, New Jersey to provide design, engineering, and construction assistance services for the Union City Bus Garage and Terminal Project at a cost not to exceed $2,629,942.93 plus 5% for contingencies, subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item 2407-44.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-44?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brontes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Koenig? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried. For the record, Board Members Brown and Thomas are recused from item 2407-45 and will not comment on the item.
Great, thanks, Megan. I'd now like to introduce Jim Sincaglia, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Rail Operations, to present Board Item 2407-45 regarding labor agreements. Jim?
Yep, thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item 2407-45, proposed labor agreements, New Jersey Transit Rail Operations Incorporated and the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen and the Transport Workers Union. Authorization is requested to approve the economic terms and other proposed conditions set forth in the Memorandum of Understanding negotiated by New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, Inc. and the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen, and authorize the President and CEO or his designee to take all necessary steps to finalize and implement same, pending ratification by the BRS. Authorization is also requested to approve the economic terms and other proposed conditions set forth in the Memorandum of Understanding negotiated by New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, Inc. and the Transport Workers Union, and authorize the President and CEO or his designee to take all necessary steps to finalize and implement same. We ask for your approval of item 2407-45.
I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-45.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brontes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Koenig? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great, thank you, Jim. Now, I'd like to introduce Benu Thomas, Senior Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer, to present item 2407-46 regarding Fare Modernization Program. Benu?
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item number 2407-46, Fare Modernization Program 2.0. Authorization is requested to award contracts to the successful bidders of two separate advertised requests for proposals, RFPs, at the amount discussed in executive session, subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item number 2407-46.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 2407-46?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Brontes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Koenig? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Come back to present Board Item 2407-47, regarding real estate. Jackie?
Thank you, President Corbett. We are presenting for approval item number 2407-47, New Jersey Transit owned real estate transmittal. Authorization is requested to approve the New Jersey Transit Real Estate Report in Exhibit A and to transmit the report to the Governor, the Commissioner of Transportation, the President of the Senate, Speaker of the General Assembly, the Assembly Transportation and Independent Authorities Committee, and the Senate Transportation Committee. We ask your approval of item number 2407-47.
May I have a motion to approve item 2407-47?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Abrantes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kane? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried. For the record, Board Members Brown and Thomas are recused from items 2407-48 and 2407-49 and will not comment on the items.
Okay, Megan, thank you. Now ask Jackie to continue with item 2407-48 regarding the personal injury claim.
We are presenting for approval item number 2407-48, personal injury claim of Wally Florimon Polino. Authorization is requested to settle the claim of Wally Florimon Polino through his attorney at an amount discussed in executive session. The Attorney General has approved the proposed settlement, subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item number 2407-48.
May I have a motion to approve board item 2407-48?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Abrantes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kane?
Yes.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great, thank you. Now ask Jackie to present item 2407-49, another personal injury claim settlement. Jackie.
Thank you, Kevin. We are presenting for approval item 2407-49, personal injury claim of Marina Gelfand. Authorization is requested to settle the claim of Marina Gelfand through her attorney at an amount discussed in executive session. The Attorney General has approved the proposed settlement, subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item number 2407-49.
May I have a motion to approve board item 2407-49? May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Abrantes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kane? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Now I'd like to bring the last action item for tonight. The item 2407-50, appointment of Jackie Stanford as Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer of NJ Transit and subsidiaries, and to perform the functions of the Office of Treasurer in accordance with NJ Transit's bylaws, Article 4, Section 5.
May I have a motion to approve board item 2407-50?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Abrantes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kane? Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Before we adjourn to executive session, I want to let the public know we will return to adjourn the meeting, but no further business will be conducted. May I have a motion to enter executive session to discuss personnel matters, contract negotiations, the status of pending and anticipated litigation, and matters falling within the attorney-client privilege, including but not limited to the personal injury claim of the estate of Teresa Maresca. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Meg, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Board Member Abrantes?
Yes.
Board Member Medina?
Yes.
Board Member Nara?
Yes.
Board Member Weiss? Board Member Weiss?
Yes.
Board Member Kane? Board Member Kane?
Yes.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Chair Carson?
Yes.
Chair O'Connor?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The executive session will now be initiated. Please note, members of the public audience, the line will
I hereby reconvene the open session portion of the meeting. Meg, please take a roll call.
Roll call, Board Member Abrantes?
Here.
Board Member Medina?
Here.
Board Member Nara?
Here.
Board Member Weiss?
Here.
Board Member Keenan?
Here.
Board Member Cruz?
Here.
Vice Chair Carson?
Here.
Chair O'Connor?
Here. Since there is no further business, stop trying to interrupt. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting carried, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Over under Fran was 9 o'clock, and I hate to say I try to get it, so I was like, yeah.